Okay, so I want to give you guys an update. Um, I've been watching a lot of stuff about politics. Oh shoot, it's July. No, it's August 3rd, 2026. I'm in my little tiny house, and I've been like watching politics videos. I watched the Wisconsin governor debate with Francesca Hong and some of them other lame people that aren't her. And then I also been watching some other stuff. I watched the Francesca Hong, Hassan Piker, Ilhan Omar rally that happened in Milwaukee. Uh, Dang, that was fun, dude. She's a good talker. Hassan is like a fool. He's also super smart, and I love him. And he looks like a total jacked Clark Kent in that freaking at that rally. Actually, he's been dressing like Clark Kent a lot recently. And yeah, Hassan Piker and Ilhan Omar is probably the most beautiful woman in Congress. I also love her because she's like just a smart, beautiful woman who's a democratic socialist, and like, ooh. Anyways, but let me see what other updates I can give you guys. I've been on my druid journey now, um, for since December of last year when I joined the Ancient Order of Druids in America. I have heard back from the Gnostic Celtic Church, which is their more like serious religious organization beyond the AODA is more of like their broader spiritual organization, the GCC's like for their monks and priests. And I did hear back from the preceptor of the church through email, and he wants to hear my story. And I like put a bunch of work into writing my story of how I got to my religious journey. Um, but what I realized is that I am way too open about myself with people, and nobody can handle it. I can't handle it. I can't handle y'all's perception of me when I show you myself. So it's like really hard. But I gotta go through and like make the my religious story like more less personal details. Um, but yeah, I feel very at home within the AODA as I know it, but I only know it through this like individual lens of like, oh, I see it on the website. I see what people say on the Discord. I don't say anything on the Discord. I just go there and look, and I read like, I read the Druidry Handbook, and I do the Sphere of Protection from the GCC liturgy like every day, or my version of it, 134 days in a row now. um, I've done it 22 times double, and I've had 22 days of doing the 16th Karmapa meditation. I've also been doing my moon meditations and my nature meditations. I've also been drawing tarot cards regularly. um, I still struggle with marijuana addiction, and I use marijuana daily. Um, I haven't had alcohol in, I don't know. I mean, I think I've sipped or like drank a light beer slowly, but even that I haven't really done. But I haven't felt the effects of alcohol in like, I guess it was late like December 2023, and it's August 2026, so that's all of 2024, all of 2025. That's like 2 and 3/4 year without alcohol. I quit nicotine of all forms. I quit caffeine. I meaningfully quit caffeine. I have used it to stay up late and party, and I've used it to drive long distances. Other than that, I haven't messed with caffeine at all, um, as a daily. And that's been, I broke that daily habit uh, probably, oh, I guess it was around the same time. It was December, so 2 and 3/4 years ago. And I quit nicotine last January, so it's been like a year and 3/4 since I've had nicotine. So, I am working with a therapist on reducing marijuana usage. I have some withdrawal symptoms that have to probably do with a lot of my other underlying issues, unsolved things within my being. Um, uh, but yeah, politically, I really did want to make a video about politics because I do love politics. I love democracy so much. I am so happy that we don't have kings. I cannot tell you like how much history I have studied and how much like modern geopolitics I have studied and like thought about, and it's just like you think Donald Trump is bad. But if we were doing bloodline kings instead of elected kings, and like if we were doing bloodline rulership, like this shit would have been, America would have been fucked 100 years ago. Like we would have been done by the time it was George Washington's great grandson. Like it would have been just like, so we are so it's so good that we want to be electing our lords. You know, it's great. The people who are making the laws are elected, and that always needs to be the case. And in fact, what we need is we need more democracy. What we need is we need to go back to something that this country had in the beginning, but it was slowly made outlaw by the Hamilton wing of the Federalist scheme. You know, basically what happened in America was there were two factions that were rebelling against Britain. Actually, many more factions than that. But to simplify it, all those mini micro factions could kind of fall into two places. And one was freedom, and the other one was empire. And the Hamilton wing of the American Revolution envisioned themselves as the new Britain, the new empire. They looked at the natives, they were like, we don't know how big this continent is, but it's bigger than Britain. And like, we're going to take it from the natives with guns, germs, and steel. And, or alliances, treaties, lying, everything, dude. But then there was the Jeffersonian wing, which probably had, not, it sucks that, you know, he's probably like the worst. But that was more into like the freedom and the idea that the individual states would be independent nations, and that there would only be a military for defense. They would not be an offensive. They would be like a freedom-loving confederacy. You know, this was like the white people, I think, that got really inspired by the Iroquois nation, the democracy, the freedom, the egalitarian utopia that the Great Lakes people and the Northwest and Canadian Native Americans were living in. This like, I don't want to say utopia, it's hard to say, but like very good society. And when white people came across it, you know, many of them, the ones that didn't see it as like something to exploit and conquer, were impressed by the freedom and democracy of those people. And really, those two factions are what created America. But in 1776, America wasn't created. America was actually created 10 or 11 years later in 1786 and 1787, when the Hamilton wing performs a coup, rewrites the entire Constitution, and gets rid of the like Confederacy and freedoms and poises America to be an empire. But so the thing that they had early on in this country, because what was the proportional representation. And see, the proportional representation democracy allows smaller voices to get seats in Congress. But what America ended up outlawing on the city, county, and state, and eventually federal level was proportional representation. They forced everybody to do a plurality wins all. And this is like a weird mathematical thing, but this is what these illuminated people in the Hamilton camp who knew about mathematics and could understand how the mathematics and the rules, the logical rules that you set up for the elections, will actually determine the type of government you get. And the type of government they wanted was to drive out minority voices and drive everything towards the control of one party. But the trick is it's two parties, but they're both serving capital. And that's I believe that was really in the design, or serving empire. You know, people think of capital as money, but they forget money. What is money? Money is power. Money is rockets and guns and computers and, you know, hired mercenaries and media manipulation campaigns. Like, money is power. It's empire. Capital is empire. Anyways, we need to bring back proportional representation. And because this is why we get all this bull crap about, like, redistricting and how, like, the ruling class that has, like, maybe only 25% of the people are actually making enough money to be loyal to, like, the money and the power and the empire. The rest of us 75% of us are not loyal to it, but we can't seem to win an election because they keep dividing us up with these maps. It's like and you know, you could get like 33% of the 34% of the vote and still win, you know, if you just divide up the working class the right way. So anyways, I don't know if I'm just rambling or what, but I'm super excited about Francesca Hong. I'm super excited about humanity because, in a lot of ways, because America is the global empire, whatever goes here is kind of going to go around the globe, unless we fall. But, like, if we go Dem Socialist in America, I think this is great for humanity because the third way that was sort of discovered in Northern Europe after the war is Dem Socialism, and it's a pretty beautiful government style, and so I'm excited. I'm also really excited that Francesca got introduced as a businesswoman, because as a Dem Socialist who's a businessman, I'm a landlord. I have a business in providing homes for humans, and a mission for healthy, affordable housing. So, anyways, it was fun to see a Dem Socialist get introduced as an entrepreneur, if that's a good thing, as if that's a good thing, and that means, like, folks are, like, maybe understanding that, like, democracy in the workplace is the move, and that when we have really high quality humans who are driven and poised and positioned to be economic leaders, that those people, if they are Dem Socialists, that's great that they can bring democratic socialism into their businesses. They can choose. I think for all the personal problems that my father gave to me, all his different lessons that he taught me that really ill prepared me, like, for human society, but that all aside, his decision to give each of his sons, you know, only some chunk of his fortune, enough to get us going in life, to help us with college or a business or to buy a home, and then to give the rest, you know, and secure him and his wife into retirement, and then the rest of his money when he dies will be donated to some excellent, you know, triple 5-star, 10 out of 10, you know, charity. And I hope he picks the Milwaukee Community Land Trust, because I do believe that affordable housing is perhaps the most, other than, like, radical reform of how the government works, I think the most salient and precious aid that we can give is affordable housing or free housing, and affordable healthy food or free food. So I hope my father invests his fortune that he squirreled away working a very modest job at an insurance company and being an environmentalist and not buying very many things ever. I hope he gives that to some kind of a healthy food or healthy affordable housing mission. That's what I would do. That's what I plan to do with my fortunes. I plan to shape my economic life after my father's, for sure. He provided a good blueprint for that, and in fact, I think my willingness to take entrepreneurial responsibility upon my shoulders to carry capital and try to determine how to. Maybe I'm a little more gutsy than my father in that way, but by my age, I think he already had a couple kids by the time he was 36, so he had other things he was doing as far as how to be a father and a husband. I cannot model myself after my father. I'm staying fit for the revolution, of course. Still playing my guitar, but not as much. I was obsessed with it, the ukulele and the guitar for maybe 2.5 years, and now it's sort of there, but I think right now my obsession is maybe this magic stuff that I'm doing with the druidry and meditation and tarot cards, and I want to add yoga back into my life and breath work. I'm excited. Wisconsin is coming up. They had a really Wisconsin, as in sing song community singing event with Kava from here in Viroqua and Liz from, where is Liz from? Iowa? Yeah, so these Midwestern song leaders they're throwing like a 5-day festival. It's gonna be sweet. So I'm going to that. Yeah, I'm very excited about my life here on the farm. I'm excited about this tiny house that I bought. It's nice to be in a tiny house that I own instead of one that I was just kind of staying in and paying somebody a little bit. But I just love, and there's like the nest behind me. But it's nice, I'm on the edge of the property now, so it feels a little more, I'm trying to be like more like a hermit anyways. I'm trying not to get wrapped too much up in, like, when I'm around people, I just like want to do shit for them, but then I feel underappreciated, or like, I don't know, I have a hard time not being in control of how things around me are happening, because I like things to be a certain way. So it's like nice for me to just like remove myself from other people, so I don't have to like be bothered by the fact that they do things differently than me. I can just, I don't know. I'm just trying to be comfy, and for me, comfy is loneliness right now. I really crave loneliness, which is something a lot of people don't understand. Like, they hear that me say that's what I want in moments of distress, and they get really scared about it, and they don't trust that I want loneliness or that it's healthy to be alone. But like, honestly, I feel like my ancestors just had like a lot of freaking time to be alone, in nature. Like, I feel like our ancestors, I mean, I guess there's been cities-ish for like a long time, but most people probably could just like go run out into some fields and woods for most of human history. or out into some grassland, some savanna, or out onto some rocks or a hill and just be alone and, you know, be with animals and be with bugs and be with lizards and be with birds. So it's not really alone, you know. I've had this beautiful thought recently when I'm like walking through the field here, and I think, oh, what if the field were like a person? Oh, it's so much fun. Or what if the field is so many different people, like each of the species, a different creature, and it's so sensual. I'm stepping on her. So yeah, we have this land, and well, it's not mine, but Sarah and her family have this land, and I'm just a renter. And where's my tiny home? Oh, there she is. Bye guys, that was a check-in.